Hello, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to attempt to make my own in-ground compost bin by using materials at home. Now, when I said in-ground compost bin, I want to end up putting this tube into the ground about a foot or so when I put the organic materials in, the worms and stuff can eat at it, causing all the goodness to go straight to the ground. Because this is the problem that I've got in my garden. The ground is absolutely solid. It is very, very condensed and very hard to break up. Even when it's been wet, it's still quite hard. So plants like this, the roots aren't able to expand, and this causing the plants to stunt the growth. Now, if I was able to build an in-ground compost bin, it should aerate the soil and it should give the ground a lot more nutrients in order to give these little bushes a bit more better circumstances to try and live. And also, if I use it for ground beds like this one, it should end up adding the nutrients straight to the soil, so it'll be ready for next year when I start growing again. So now I'm going to attempt to make this in-ground compost bin, and I'm going to be using a old tube, which is basically for like plumbing and stuff. So this is going to be perfect because we're going to be able to put all our compost material into the top once this is in the ground, and then the worms and stuff will be able to get to it once we start drilling some holes in it, of course, and all the nutrients and stuff are going to be able to come out and go straight to the roots. And also my plan is as well is to add a lid on top of it, because we don't want no rodents and stuff trying to get into it, especially my dogs as well, because there's going to be some food waste inside of here. So the first part I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be cutting this down about a foot in length. This is because this is going to be fully into the ground, and usually plants like bushes and stuff, the roots are only about a foot deep, so this would be a perfect length in order to give all the nutrients and stuff to the plant's roots. All we do is just grab a tape measure, find out where the foot mark is, and you just mark it, and then mark it a couple of times all the way around. So this is our line that we got. Doesn't matter if it's straight because it's going to go into the ground anyway, so it doesn't matter. So now we're going to cut it. Hey, that was effort. This is our foot section of pipe we're going to be using. Right, so now I'm going to have to sand these little skags off here. This is where I've cut it. This normally happens when you cut it anyway. I just want it to be a little bit smoother. So I'm going to be using some 120 grit just to get rid of any rough edges around the sides. There we go, nice and smooth. Now we have to drill holes in the side of the tube, because not only will worms go up through the bottom of the tube, we want them to go through the side as well. Because the added benefit of this is once the worms are finished eating inside, they can then leave the tube, because then they add the nutrients to the soil that is around the tube. And also it's important to use a drill bit that's big enough for worms to pass through. We don't want to make no holes too small for the worms. We want worms to have no problems accessing this compost. So it doesn't matter how many holes I put into this tube. Obviously more the better, but I'm not going to put any at the top inch here. So I'm going to put some random holes all the way around the bottom part of it. There we go. So I tried keeping it all like in some sort of pattern. I don't know why I'm a bit weird like that. But now I'm going to have to sand all this, because you can see there's just excess plastic coming off of this, and we don't want any of it in our soil. So now I'm going to have to sand it all. Now the hardest part about this is actually sanding the inside of it. Alright, so I'm happy about that. That's the first part done. But now I want to add a lid to it. And I've managed to get a bottom end of a plant pot. It managed to come off. So what I'm going to do is put this on top like this. But I want to try and make it so it actually opens like that, like a little flap. So I have to try and get creative and try and think of something I can try and do. Alright, so I've been thinking of using string as a hinge. Because it's circular, it'd be quite hard to get a hinge that can fit inside of it. So I might end up doing is drilling some holes in the cap and the tube, and maybe use a string like a hinge to be able to make it go over like this. So I've been trying an idea for the lid, and this is what I've come up with at the moment. As you can see, there's a string inside of here like this. So when it's on, it's like that, and once it comes off, it'll fall and it hit onto that string. But I'm gonna make another one here, so then it should then just sit down like that, or sit down like that, but the lid should still be somewhat attached to this tube. Alright, so I think I've got the hinge worked out. With 2 bits of string, I can have it like that. So I can put my stuff in and then close it up afterwards. But I'm not entirely happy yet, even though I've got the lid now on top. I want to make myself a nice little handle so I can then lift it up instead of having to put my hands down like this, because chances are the mud's going to be underneath it, and if it's a rainy wet day I end up getting my hands dirty. So I'm going to try and attempt to make a little rope handle so I can just grab it and be able to lift this up without any problem. So I am attempted to do like a braid style. I haven't done this in years, probably back in like primary school, so I'm hoping I've remembered it correctly. And I'm going to try and do this for the whole length and then see how it looks as a little handle for my lid. I've had to come inside because it's absolutely chucking it down out there, but I want to finish this off. But the good thing is I managed to get my rope ready, so now we're going to put it on top and use it as a handle. Put it through like this. So now we pull the rest of it through, just tie it up at the bottom, and there we go. Got ourselves a nice little handle. Look at this, I'm well happy about that. As you can see, I can pop it open with my nice handle. It should then sit there. If I wanted it to, I can make it go all the way back like that, so I can fill my stuff up and then close the lid. So can you guys see the problem we're going to have now? And that is the lid is too light. So this is basically going to be buried up to here. And if any sort of animal or vermin want to see what's inside of it, they can just literally put their nose in and lift it up with ease. Or the wind might end up taking it and lifting it up. My plan is to decorate the top of this with stones. Now you could get rid of the lid altogether and literally just put one big stone straight on top like this, and then just move the stone and just put your compost in and put the stone back on top. But I thought I'd do it this way while I'm doing the effort, try and make it look good in my garden. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bond the stones on with some sealer, and I'm going to decorate it and see what it looks like. Alright, so it's starting to look good, and it is adding some weight to the lid. Now I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so I'm happy about that. Now it's got plenty of weight to it, so nothing should be able to go up underneath it and push it out of the way. But now I'm going to have to leave this to bond while the sealer goes off. But now is a good time to dig the hole, but it's absolutely pouring down, so I'm probably going to do that off camera. And I'm not going to lie, the hole for it took forever to dig. So the hole is almost a foot deep, but I haven't seen no worms at all, so that's quite a worrying sign. But I just got to dig it a little bit more, and then we can put my homemade in-ground composter in the hole. Alright, so this is now finished. The stones have now stuck on, so when I pull the lid back, none of them are falling off. So this is now ready to go into the ground. Alright, it's time to put it in the ground. So the hole is dug. Now it's time to insert this bad boy. Hey, and there we have it. It is in the ground. That is lovely. So now I'm just going to fill this little bits in here, and it should be complete. So there you have it. It is all finished, and it's in there. I haven't put nothing in there yet, but I'm going to soon. Might do it for another video on what to fill it up with. So I'm pleasantly surprised of how well that came up, and I hope that it actually does benefit me in the garden. So hopefully this video demonstrates on how easy it is for you guys to make your own. It'd be good to know if they actually help you in your garden, or what ways you have done to make your own in-ground compost bins. So I'll see you guys next time.